here we have set number 75301. This is Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter. It has 474 pieces and it is ages 9 plus. It retails right now for $50 US. So the first minifigure we have here is none other than Luke Skywalker. This is Pilot Luke, obviously. You can see he has some good torso detail and some leg detail as well. There is also some pretty good detail on the helmet there. So I'm just going to spin him around here. He comes with his typical blue lightsaber as well. See, we have some back detail as well. No arm detail, no back leg detail. Luke also does have a double-sided face. So here is one side of his face. And then here is the other side of his face with the helmet on. And then with the helmet off, you can see it's just his visor pretty much raised up. Next up we have R2-D2. Obviously has been released in a few sets here recently. This might actually be the same R2-D2 model that we've gotten in the past. I don't think there's anything really new about him. You can see his head at least has pretty good detail. The back of his body doesn't, his legs don't. So just kind of your typical R2-D2 astromech. Next figure here is Princess Leia, Episode 4 version. Really nice front detail, or really nice front torso detail, as well as some really nice leg detail in the front. Also has some back detail as well. So you can see the hood there on Leia's dress is also present, which I don't know if it has been on previous iterations of Leia. I assume it hasn't, but haven't looked really close into that. Leia also does have a double-sided face, so she has this one here, and then she has this one here. And just to show you with the hairpiece, what that would look like is this. So, pretty cool figure to get again. She also comes with a blaster pistol. The last figure here, who is exclusive to this set, is General Dodonna. I hopefully am saying that right. General Dodonna here was in Episode 4. He was the general who stood aside Leia during the attack on the Death Star when they would pan back to the briefing mission room, mission control room there in the Yavin 4 Rebel base. So this is the first time that we're ever actually getting a General Dodonna figure. Very minimal back torso detail, of course not really required, but he does have some pretty good leg detail and some torso detail. General Dodonna also has a double-sided face as well. He has this normal one, and then he has this more, I guess, aggressive one. Pretty cool hairpiece as well. I don't think I've seen this hairpiece before on a Lego minifigure, so pretty cool to get one with him. He also comes with this gray blaster as well. Alright, so now on to the X-Wing itself. It is a pretty good, well-made set for being 474 pieces. I wasn't sure how they would actually go about this without making it look crappy, I suppose, but it does actually look pretty nice. So, first thing to mention here with the set is that obviously it does have a cockpit here to place Luke in, or whoever you want, and also has a place for R2 right back here. So R2, obviously you would just put him right in here. There are these little tile plates with the studs on them. I don't know if you can see them right there and one right there. It's really tough to do because I'm looking at the camera backwards. So, but basically he would just go right in, and I'm just going to push him down into those studs. So that way you have R2 basically in the X-Wing. I'm going to grab Luke real quick as well, and we're going to put him into the cockpit. Alright, so I got Luke here in his sitting position. I'm going to place him inside the cockpit. There's actually, and I do want to point this out, that there's like this little piece right here. It's kind of like this divider piece inside where you can put his legs in. So it'll allow him to kind of sit up properly, but there's no studs keeping him in place. So it's just pretty much this. So I got Luke inside the cockpit there. Shut it like that, and there you go. So we have R2 and Luke inside the X-Wing. So that actually covers like 2 of the 4 main playability features of the set. Moving on to the flick fire missiles next. You can see there's a flick fire missile right, wow, if I can get the camera in focus, there's one right here on the side of this wing. There's one also right here on the side of this wing. And literally, all you have to do is flick this part right here, and it'll send it flying. I will demonstrate for you. So, flick it down or up. There we go. It's a flick up sort of mechanism. Alright, so here's the other wing. There you go, and you can see it went flying there. So there's only 2 flick fire missiles on this set. So the final play feature for this set that I want to mention, probably the most important one for an X-Wing, is the fact that the wings do actually fold into attack position and back off. So it's going to be, there's a Technic mechanism right here, which I'll mention again in a bit, but if you push down on this like top Technic piece, it's going to put the wings actually in attack position. Down on the Technic, you can see the wings fold open. It's not the best mechanism, it's definitely not close to perfect. I think it was the 2018 X-Wing definitely had a better mechanism for the wings, and obviously to close them, you can't like pull on the Technic piece. You can see I'm trying to pull on it and the wings are kind of closing, but it's not really good. You just have to kind of clamp the wings together on the sides to fold them back in. So, kind of a crummy little mechanism, but it does get the job done. I have to say it's not perfectly convenient like the 2018 X-Wing, which had a very awesome mechanism for folding the wings. This one, though, does get the job done. You can see, you can just take off, whatever. Final thing I do want to mention is that there is landing gear on this set. It's built in on the back here, so there's one right here. There's one also right here. Whoop, if I can show it. So there's one right here as well, and then there's a middle one right here. You can't actually fold this middle landing gear up. It's actually stuck in this position. So when you're flying around with the X-Wing, whatever, it's always going to be stuck in that like landed position, which kind of sucks. In terms of the detail for the set, it's not bad for 474 pieces. You think they wouldn't pack in a lot of detail, but they do have some detailed parts here for the set. There are 11 stickers as well. So there's one there, one there. Obviously a sticker right here, same spot right here. There's 3 individual stickers on the engine point. The cockpit computer is actually a printed piece. You can see it in there. This part right here is printed. A sticker here. I mean, they're kind of everywhere again in this set. So the Technic build that I mentioned earlier for the wing mechanism here, that build can be a little confusing. It is pretty complicated, especially for a playset to have a Technic build like that involved is a little strange. That doesn't often happen, but it isn't completely foreign to LEGO playsets. But I do just want to say that it can be a little bit of a confusing build. There's one point in the build where I put on a Technic piece wrong. I was able to catch myself before I actually continued, but like I said, sometimes the instructions, they're pretty clearly laid out, but at the same time, you can just kind of put your brain on autopilot mode, and that's pretty dangerous because then you might put something on wrong when you think you put it on right. So it's a little more complicated than what it probably should have been, I guess, but obviously in a way to save the amount of pieces, they obviously had to throw in the Technic build, which I think the Technic part on its own, at least 50 to 100 pieces of this set is dedicated to that, at least. So just so that you're aware, that's probably the most complicated part of this build is that little Technic thing. So just make sure that you're pretty concentrated and focused during that part of the build and not kind of on autopilot mode, because that's where you're probably going to make the most mistakes, is within that Technic part of the build, because the rest of the build is actually very straightforward. Overall, this X-Wing is a pretty good set, and like I said, that General Dodonna figure right here, really good figure to actually have because he hasn't been released in any other LEGO sets, so pretty cool to get. Also, if you don't have an X-Wing, this is a pretty good one to get right now. So honestly, not that bad, but there are definitely better LEGO X-Wings out there. Outside of that, not much else to say about this one. Thank you for watching this review, and I'll see you on the next video.